Hello there. Conservative MP Jacob Rees-Mogg has called for the Chancellor to produce a budget that shows the UK is open to the world, not closed to Europe. In a speech delivered at the launch of the Budget for Brexit, produced by Economists for Free Trade, Jacob Rees-Mogg puts recent economic events into perspective ahead of the autumn budget on the 22nd of November. After being deluged with relentless Remainer pessimism every minute of every hour of every day since we voted to leave on that glorious day, just about every prediction of doom has been proved wrong. And showing how wrong these doomsayers had been in the past, he says, "When the UK decided against joining the euro, it was widely argued that this would be an act of irreparable self-harm, as the countries of the eurozone were set to surge forward on a wave of new prosperity unleashed by the single currency. Gravity models predicted a tripling or doubling of UK trade if we joined. Only a few brave souls stood out against this overwhelming consensus. But not for the first time in our economic history, a small band of contrary thinkers won the day. For the countries of southern Europe, not a wave of prosperity, but a tsunami of unemployment." He looks at the history of the relative fortunes of the UK and EU economies and points out that overall the UK has done very well. And when looking at the present, the UK is doing much better than Brexit detractors claim. He points out that inflation is not high by any historical standards and will peak maybe at about 3.2% before falling back to 2% next year, and then we will see wages rise in real terms. The fall in the pound is also welcome, he says, because it was overvalued anyway, and it will boost exports while slowing the growth of consumer spending, so rebalancing the economy. At the end of the day, he says, that as long as the economy is handled well, we will see what he calls a post-Brexit fiscal freedom of £135 billion between 2020 and 2025 and a further £40 billion a year going forward. Brexit, he says, provides the chance to signal to the world that Britain is open for business and that this government is going to make the UK one of the most competitive economies in the world. Great stuff from the Mogg, but we still do have people with a downer on leavers. Paolo von Schirach, the president of the Global Policy Institute, is yet another one claiming that Leave voters had no idea of what they were voting for. Speaking on CGTN, he said, "It's really complicated. And without being humorous here, I don't know that the Prime Minister of the UK knows exactly what she's doing, because they embarked in this process without really understanding the full implications." Yet another expert telling us no one understands, including, it seems, the whole government now. Wonder if he realises how much this is about national self-determination to the Leavers. Now about those claims of nasty racist Brexit. All the EU workers will feel unwanted and return home, we were told. Well, The Guardian reports that the number of people from other EU countries working in the UK has risen by 112,000 since the referendum. The ONS says that the number of Polish workers has dropped a little, but those from Romania and Bulgaria have more than offset that. Now, how does that fit in with the normal Remainer rhetoric? Also, the latest employment figures are out today, which show that once again unemployment is down. So much for the much-promised employment Armageddon. Of course, the Remainers will quickly latch on to the reports that employment fell by 14,000 in the 3 months to September compared to the 3 months to June, although over the whole year employment is up by a whopping 279,000. It sounds counterintuitive that both employment and unemployment are down in the 3 months to September, but the number of people deemed economically inactive increased. Drilling down into those figures, we see that the number of people studying and the number of people off of work due to long-term health problems had increased. I wonder how the Remainers will try and pin this rise in the number of economically inactive people on Brexit. Now, you may remember that I have talked about UK labour productivity in the past, and that we have a productivity puzzle in the UK of increased employment but an almost static output per hour. Well, according to the ONS, in the 3 months to September, we had the fastest output per hour growth rate since the second quarter of 2011. So, nowhere near all the level of doom and gloom that the Remainers had predicted. What do you think? Please leave a comment below. Thank you. Please do like and share this video, and also subscribe to my channel. And when subscribing, please do remember to press on the little bell next to the subscribe button. That way you'll get an alert every single time I put up a new video. Thank you very much for watching.